You already know what it is. It's your boy Primary Element, and this is TLX Interviews. We are in TLX Studio with a very special guest right now. I'm honored to introduce to you a very talented DMV residing but New York hailing singer-songwriter. She goes by the name Alanah. Go ahead and introduce yourself to him.
I'm Alanah. I'm a singer/songwriter, and I also rap. Just be in tune for me, because I'm about to take over the whole game. You already know me.
So first things first, like, where does the name come from? That was like one of the first things that kind of struck me as interesting about your brand.
Alanah is actually my real name. Alanah is my first name. Nakwai is my middle name. I was gonna go by just Nakwai, but Alanah had more of a ring to it.
What culture is that?
My mom told me it's a slave name. I think, yeah, she told me that it's a slave name. I don't think it has any real meaning, but I just think it's like a slave name.
Okay, that's fresh. I thought it was like something, I don't know, like from like a different ethnicity, but it's actually from African American culture. That's what's up. Okay, but are you 100% African American, or are you mixed with a few things?
I am a mutt.
Oh,
I am mixed with a lot of things.
What's your background?
My dad is like black and white, right? Something like that. And my mom her dad is from Barbados in St. Lucia, and then her mom is like Japanese, Filipino, black.
That sounds like a
so
good, like,
I'm like a big melting pot, really.
combination of like flavors as far as food is concerned.
Yeah, my whole family could cook.
So tell me like how it was for you growing up, you know what I'm saying, like in New York. Like what was your, you know what I'm saying, your childhood like?
My childhood, when I think about my childhood in New York, I just think of fun. Like, I used to have so much fun in New York. Like, just be home before the street lights is on. That's all that mattered. Like, we used to ride bikes, go to the park. You know, we were average kids. I want to say when I was a teenager, I was a little more rebellious as a teenager. So I wasn't doing all the things I should have been doing. But it was still fun regardless, and taught me a lot of lessons. I just want to say, like, I just had a lot of friends. Like, I was a social butterfly growing up. And I always had a million friends, and we always used to run the streets. And it's weird because music wasn't my focus when I was younger. Like, I just literally liked to have fun, and that was my thing.
Okay, so you lived in New York, what, till you were how old?
I moved to Florida when I was a baby, and I think we came back around like when I was like 6 or 7, so around there somewhere. And then I moved out of New York when I was 15.
So you came to New York in 2012, about 5 years ago, correct? So how has it been, you know, spending time, the time you spend in DMV, how has it been for you so far?
I'm gonna be honest, when I first moved here, I hated it. I hated everyone, I hated the state. I'm like, get me out of this state. I don't want any new friends. I just was anti-DMV for at least a year, but once I realized I couldn't change anything, I wasn't going anywhere, I'm just like, okay, well, I might as well try to get used to it. Go-go is a big thing in music out here, and I learned a little bit of that. It's not necessarily my favorite kind of music, but I can get with it a little bit now that I've been here. But it's definitely changed my outlook on life in general. We from New York to the DMV, baby.
It gets tougher, you know, in the DMV, or was it more tough lifestyle in New York? Which one do you think is? Because I've heard different sides of each story, so I've heard it's more grimy.
It was definitely grimy. I felt like when I moved here, it was a big weight off my shoulder. Like I said, I was doing a lot of things I wasn't supposed to be doing at the time, and I had a lot of beef and a lot of drama going on around me. So when I moved to Maryland, it was like a big weight off my back. Like I don't have to look over my back. I don't have to, you know, not go certain places. Like I was comfortable. So that was a really big plus. It was definitely more grimy in New York. Like I feel like people in Maryland do dumb things just because, you know, they got a lot of free time. People in New York do dumb things because they gotta eat, they gotta survive, you know, they gotta make it. And I feel like that's the biggest difference between the two. Not saying that people out here don't have struggles, but I've met a lot of young, dumb people that just want to do anything. But a lot of people don't have it in New York, you know, growing up. They weren't given it. They gotta take it kind of thing, you know. Because I've, like, met people here that, like, I've seen their house, and they live in, like, mansions, but they want trap.
Yes.
So I'm like, why do you want to trap if your family has money, you know? Why not take that, put that to something positive? That's just the biggest difference to me. Like, it was more ruthless, I would say. Yeah, definitely a big weight lifted off of me.
Oh, okay, so out here it's a breeze.
Yeah, I go everywhere I want to go. I'm acceptable everywhere. There's no tension. You know, I obviously you gotta always be on your P's and Q's, but out here I just go where I want to go, do what I want to do, hang around. You know, I never feel like my life is in jeopardy. I've never felt like that living here.
And she said the DMV sweet.
I know, seriously, it's comfortable. Like, this is suburbs to me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's definitely comfortable.
We take that as shade. No, I'm just kidding.
I think of the DMV like a long porch, wraparound porch, and a cup of lemonade.
I think a lot of people that have never been outside of the DMV probably look at it as like certain parts is just like it's nothing to play with, but
definitely.
I think if a lot of the people that think it's tough in certain parts, it might be certain parts of New York where you can't go and not get finessed. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Southeast is certain parts you can't go to, but a lot of parts is really cool and it just has a bad reputation.
Oh yeah, I've been experiencing my few ghetto moments in Southeast and in Baltimore too. You know, I went to school with a lot of. We don't really count
Baltimore as a DMV as much because they like
a
whole different
they don't
state.
like to be connected with everybody. They're like, we're the city, we're not the DMV. Like
they got a whole different swag.
Yeah, but they definitely go hard. DC goes hard. You know, I'm not saying that everybody in the DMV is soft.
No, we got
I'm definitely not saying that. I'm just saying. It's just a little more relaxed.
For sure. Okay? So, I mean, enough about us. Let's focus on you. You know what I'm saying? We getting sidetracked. So, like, let us know, like, how you kind of got into music, like, how long you've been doing it. Where was your first start? And then when did you actually start to say, this is a gift and I could do something with this? This is, like, something that I could really make, you know, a living out of or, you know, make a career out of or something like that.
I want to say I started singing when I was younger. It was just fun to me. It was a hobby to me. It wasn't like, oh, I could sing, let me sing. It was just I could hold a note, so I like do that sound. So I would hum around the house. It was never nothing I took serious. And then I started taking it like, I want to say middle school. I was in a lot of choir classes. And I actually went to Disney World with the dance troupe and my choir director, and we went out there and did the Lion King at Disney World, and that's when I realized like I'm actually kind of good, like I can actually do this. So up until high school I was taking choir classes, and then when I moved to Maryland I met a choir director in Roosevelt, Miss Fallon, and she kind of like coddled me a little bit, like you're a gentle angel, you can do this, like, you know. She kind of gave me that little push to try to do more. Like I didn't breathe well. I didn't articulate well. I just could hold a note, and she was kind of the person to mold me into a more classical singer. Because I was in a gospel choir class, but it wasn't always that black soulful gospel. It was sometimes more classical, you know, to the point where you can't do any runs. It's just straight notes. So that definitely molded my voice into like a powerful sound. And then after I graduated high school, I kind of stopped with the choirs. Like I was in 2 choirs leaving high school, and then I just stopped. And when I actually left college, I came home like I gotta do something else. Like I felt like my calling was somewhere else. I was studying psychology in school, and I'm there, and I was good at it. Like I want to say my first semester I had like a 3.4. I wasn't no slack or anything, but it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like that was the place I needed to be. So when I came home, I did a lot of soul searching, you know, and I got my heart broken, and that is kind of what triggered the writing. I started just writing just to get things off my chest, and then it was actually like I wrote a banger. It started with Mary Jane.
It hit the fan, I was embarrassed. Fuck love, now I'm a savage. Fuck about my face, no love for lames. Mary Jane, the only one I'll be let hit it. Blowing no instead of kissing. Come look what you've been missing, baby.
Yeah, like I wrote a whole bunch of poetry before that, but the first song I actually wrote was Mary Jane, and I was high as a kite when I was writing that. I was high, and I'm like, this making me feel bad. I'm gonna write a song about this, and I wrote a whole song, and it banged, like it went crazy. I'm like, I could be a ghostwriter. Yeah. I could do this, like, and that was the spark right there, and I've been nonstop ever since. Like,
so that's been what? How many years have you been going at it? Like seriously.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I've only been going at it months.
Some months. Okay.
Yeah, some months. Like my own personal music has only been happening for about 6 months now.
Still
But me
fresh.
singing, it's been like a lifetime. I couldn't even give you a time where I started.
But I definitely see the grind and the work ethic. You've been like as I followed you, I see you popping up at all types of different events, and it's consistent week to week. It's getting kind of toasty.
It's a little toasty here.
I've noticed from what I've heard, you got a lot of different styles that you kind of encompass. Who's some people that kind of influence your sound as of today that you like listening to for inspiration?
Definitely, I would say Tink. She's a big influence to me because she raps and she sings, and her flow is just like when I listen to her music, it feels like I know her. I'd be like, sis, how you know I went through that? How you knew that? Like every time. So she definitely influences me. Recently, more so, SZA.
Yeah.
Control is crazy. Like
the
Control.
and the style.
SZA did her thing on that.
Sure.
I've been listening to Chance and Drake.
You like Chance?
Yeah, I love Chance.
Old Chance or new Chance?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I'm a big Chance fan. Can't nobody tell me anything about him. I'd be like, you know what? You're the devil. You're lying. He's the greatest thing ever.
Oh, you a super stand for Chance?
Yeah, like
Okay,
I love
so
Chance the
I'm
Rapper.
not even gonna slander Chance then.
Yeah, don't do it.
Like,
Don't do it.
I mess with Chance. I've been feeling like his music has become more and more PBS as of late.
Yeah.
And he was a lot more edgy when he came out. But I understand it's part of it.
And we're back. Head ass.
All right, we back off this little quick break. So we talked a little bit about your personal taste. I want to also know more about your brand. Like, why do you think your brand is unique? You know what I'm saying? What makes your brand unique? What makes your brand stand out from all of the other different singers and artists that's coming out and kind of in your lane today?
I think I'm just like too diverse. Like I feel like from a lot of the feedback I've been getting from fans and family members and people around me, like people don't know what to expect from me next. Is she gonna sing? Is she gonna rap? I'm actually learning how to produce now. Is she about to drop a beat? Like, like people don't know what to expect from me, and I feel like a lot of singers just in general, like what lane they're in, what they're coming with next. Like my next 4 projects are completely different in every single way. Nothing will be the same. So I feel like that's what sets me apart from everybody else, that they come together with me.
So your managers let me know that you have recently been doing some touring and then opening up for a popular artist out in New York as well named Troy Ave. What's that relationship like? How did that come into play?
Troy Ave is super cool. He's super dope. Sorry, I got some jokes. Troy Ave is super dope though. He didn't really expect me to be coming along because the promotion tour was kind of set up ahead of time. But once he seen I was there, it was love. Like, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I love your music. Like, we all showed it. It was just like a very team bonding kind of thing. Like, even though he's like way ahead of me in the music game, like we all felt like regular people that day. Like we were all cool, going out to eat, chilling and stuff. We stopped by BSU and Virginia Union as well, just showing love to the students and stuff like that. So it was definitely like all love. I had so much fun, and it was like an experience that I would never forget.
How many stops was the tour?
The tour, I don't know where they went before I got on the tour, because the way I got on was so like janky, honestly. Like one of the promoters that I was promoting for him, like seeing me at another show and was like, yo, you're super dope. We got to get you on here. Like, you got to open up for him.
So what was the experience like opening up? Like, was it, because I know Troy Ave has a good following, like a pretty nice size following. Was it crazy packed when you got on stage? How did you feel? Were you nervous?
It wasn't crazy packed the way I expected it to be, because I'm from New York. People in the DMV don't really know who Troy Ave is. Like, a lot of people I was inviting to come out was like, who's that? And that's more so a DMV thing. Like, everybody that I know in New York was like, yo, that's fucking crazy. You open for Troy Ave? I'm like, yeah. Like, the people out here was like, who's that? So at first it wasn't very crowded, but he had great promoters on his side, and it got a little packed in there. And I don't never really get nervous before I go on. Like, on my way to shows, I get a little knot in my stomach, but by the time I get there, I have to put on this persona that I'm okay. So I just forget about it. And then I'm just, hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Like, that's me when I'm in there. So once I fake like I'm okay, I'm actually okay. Like, I forget that I'm not.
So, like, how was the response when you hop on stage and you kind of do your thing? Is it usually, I know you usually are used to getting a positive reaction and stuff. Like, have you ever had any, like, crazy bad experiences where the vibe was just way off, or?
No. I just think it's funny that every time I perform, like, usually when I first get to venues, whether it's the promoters or the other artists or anybody, it could be anybody that's a part of what's going on. Like, when they first see me, they underestimate me immediately. Like, the first night I opened for Troy Ave, I came in and one of the promoters was like, you know, how'd you learn about this event? And I'm like, I'm performing. He's like, oh yeah? Like he didn't believe in me. Like, oh yeah, you about to perform? I'm like, yeah, about to perform. What you mean? And I got up there and like I did my thing. Everybody want to take pictures with me. Everybody want to follow me, get next to me. And it's like, that happens every time I perform. Like, people don't expect me to rap, for one, and they don't expect me to sing as good as I do. A lot of people sing but can't sing live. I hit every note. I'm not playing. I'm not coming to play. I'm coming to slay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's a bar right there.
Yes, I could throw that in a song.
You want to spit something for us before you get out?
Spit some?
Yeah, you don't have to. I was just going to throw it out there. You know what I'm saying? There's a possibility.
Maybe.
You have to have a bacon, egg, and cheese. You have to. Yeah, you have to have a bacon, egg, and cheese. Like, you have to wake up early in the morning and go get one. Number 2, you have to ride the train. Because you get to see a lot of weird stuff. Like, dancers. And, like, yeah. And then you get your super, like, crazy trannies that, like, look like they have beards. But makeup and skirts. I love those. That's my favorite. Party in the village. You have to party in the village. Because it's good eats, it's good shopping, it's good vibes, it's positive, and it's a lot of fun if you want to go on a date with somebody or just see the city a little bit. The village is a great place to go.
Now back to our show.
So there's some things going on as of lately, and social events as far as racism. There's been a lot of what is it? Rallies and shit, alt-right, KKK, Nazi, and all of this stuff like that. And as part of the black community, we all are against it, and we all speak out against it typically, and can see very openly the wrongs and the negativity that it brings to our lives and our quality of living, right? My question for you is kind of like, if you could say one thing could be the solution to all that racism and racial tension and that hatred that's directed towards us as a people, what would you say that the solution would be?
Stop looking at things as colors. Colors, if there were no colors involved and everybody was based off the content of character, racism would not exist. Because there is a color, they think that it makes your content of character a certain way.
But what about like good guys? Like, what if the Nazis and the KKK people, I feel like they are being neglected of like maybe just good gas. Like, I don't feel like you can be that angry.
No, for real though. Like, hit a blunt, chill
it.
out, first of all, because if you was high, you're going to be concerned about the next person.
Somebody literally at the rally in Charlottesville drove I think it was like a Ford Mustang or a Dodge Challenger, one of the two, no surprise, into a crowd of people. And I think the story is that they were aiming to hit like a black couple, but they actually hit a white young lady. She actually died. But like, what do you have to be going through? You know what I'm saying? Or like, what type of mind state you got to be in to, do something like that or commit to doing something like that?
You gotta be very angry at the world.
You gotta be tight.
You gotta be real upset at the world and miserable with yourself to, like, I can't even stab a juice box. So to think about when people actually go like harm other people, especially in the name of like racism, like what are you going through at home that you're this angry? You know, like, it have to be something more to it than just color. Like, you can't just be that upset about color, because if it was up to that, black people would be out here killing white people all day if it was just up to color. But I feel like a lot of black people are loved. You know, they got that family, that bond, you know, and they don't have people at home teaching them hate. They got people teaching them love, to love their brothers, love other people. So it's just like, I just feel like people like that are just taught that at home. They have bad upbringing and they're taught hate. And, you know, once you keep being taught hate, especially from a child, you're just going to grow up to hate and do hateful things. It starts with the home. It definitely starts with the home. They definitely need to hit a blunt and calm the fuck down.
They definitely gotta
because
chill.
it's not that deep. Like.
I think it's too much moonshine. What is your goal when you step inside the studio, when you are getting on stages? What is it that you or
like, what's my goal?
what is not your goal, but what is it that you are intending to accomplish to the people? Like, how do you intend to affect people with what you do?
Oh, I want people to feel like they know me. Whenever I record or whenever I perform, like, especially when I perform, I definitely try to get people to feel like they personally know me, you know, because when people feel like, hey, I know her, you know, like, they're more supportive of what you're doing, you know. So I definitely want people to feel like they know me, like, I'm bestie. I could be your best friend in your head. That's cool. And when I'm recording, I want to make music to, like, be there for people, you know. Like, when I listen to Tink or SZA in certain times, it's like they're a shoulder for me. Like, you know exactly what I'm going through. Like, that's good. And I don't just want to be there for breakups or, you know, sad moments. You know, I want to be there for the turn up. I want to be there when you got a new job. I want to be there, you know what I'm saying? You got a new place. I want to be that person, you know. Let me put some Alanah in the choir, man. Let's go. Like, I want to be there for everything. And when I perform, I want people to feel like they can come up to me in the street and talk to me. Like, I've met a few celebrities, I'm not going to say any names particularly, but they're not the most warming people. And you come up to, like, hey, what's up? Like, a lot of celebrities come off like, should I even speak? You know, I don't want people to feel like that with me. I want people, I know her, she's cool. Tell a friend to tell a friend, she's cool. So that's definitely my main goal, recording and performing.
That's dope. So when we listen to your music, we can expect a lot of raw emotion and honesty, truthfulness in your music. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Everything I write is something that I've personally been through or know someone that's personally been through.
That's dope. Who are some artists what are some type of music are there any types of music that you don't particularly, or anything that's going on in urban contemporary music right now that you don't particularly care for, that you wish it was less of and would be, you know, something else?
I love Lil Yachty. I love Lil Uzi. I love all of them. I'm glad that they're doing their thing, but there are too many people trying to be like them.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, only one person can do it. They can't have 5 Lil Yachty's and 17 Uzis. We got like 30 Uzis right now in the game. Do y'all realize that? We got like 30 Uzis. And I'm just like, yo, y'all gotta have some type of content. Like, it can't just be, yeah, okay. Like, come on, give me some bars. Give me something. Like, can't have everybody out here, you know what I'm saying? And then that's their lane. That's the lane that they created, which is why I don't knock them for doing it. Like, they started that. You know, that's their wave. Like, I don't think, when you think of that new wave sound, those are probably the first 2 people you're gonna think of. You're gonna think of Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty. And that's them. Kudos to them. Shout out to them, actually, for actually, you know, being those people. But I'm tired of like 1,000 Yachty's and 1,000 Uzis. Like, I only want Lil Uzi and Yachty in my playlist. I don't need a million other people sounding just like you, making the same kind of, no, I'm sorry.
Right. So, we talked about a lot of nationally acclaimed artists and things like that. Who are some of your DMV local favorites? Do you have any? Do you listen to a lot of DMV music?
I listen to some DMV artists. I listen to Will the Rapper. I listen to Rico Nasty.
What's that Baltimore?
Primo Rice. I love Primo Rice.
Oh, where they from?
That's my nigga. I think he's from PG.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not 100% sure, but I know he's from the DMV. His flow. Lowe's $3 signs.
Mm-hmm.
That's my engineer. I listen to him a lot.
Dope. So, like, you being, you know what I'm saying, from New York, but you're now a part of the DMV music scene. How has your experience been being a part of that, and where do you think the strong points and the weaknesses are having experience with the DMV scene is like as far as music is concerned?
I feel like sometimes I can't really relate with some DMV artists, especially people growing up on go-go. I did not grow up on go-go. Like, me and Los go out a lot, and like we'll be in the club and go-go will be on, and I'm just like, hey, trying to get with it, and everybody else just cranking real hard, like this is something that they listened to when they was 3, like, but that's not me. And also because I'm not from here and I didn't grow up with all the people that artists have grown up with, like, they kind of make it hard for me. Like, everybody's always throwing a dollar sign at me, like, oh, I don't know you, so you got to drop this bag, basically. But in all actuality, like, Los is from here, so there's been times where Los has an opportunity to do something, but I don't have the same opportunity because I'm not from here, or I don't, I didn't grow up with the people he grew up with. So sometimes they give me a little bit of a hard time not being from the DMV, but the people on my team have been pretty good to me, so I ain't complaining.
So besides you've experienced the New York scene a little bit, you've experienced the DMV scene, have you ever done any traveling, been to any other spots? What are some other cool spots as far as music epicenters that you've been to?
I've really only been in the DMV and NY. I'm looking forward to doing some events in Cali.
Dope.
I got a trip going out there soon, so I'm looking into doing something out there. Hopefully they got something available for me. Yeah, we trying to do something in Cali, but I'm definitely trying to broaden my horizon. I have, different people I can connect with out of states. I'm just trying to build my foundation because, like I said, I've only been doing this for about 6 months. So I gotta, I know a lot of people that have like a solid 3 mixtapes under their belt just waiting to be dropped. And I don't have that because I just started. So I just want to get the hard work out the way, and then I can bounce around and be in everybody's face. Like, the reason why I've been so active in the DMV is because I live here. In my free time, if I'm not in the studio or at work, I'm in the club. Politicking, trying to be in everybody's face. Hey, what's up? I'm in the car. Like, that's what I've been doing. But I feel like if I had the opportunity to be in other places, I would.
Is it me? Is it the weed? I'm rolling up in some sheets, yeah. My diamonds blinking and they blinding us. The TT got me high as fuck, yeah. Mary got me, oh. Mary got me, oh. Mary got me, yeah. Mary got me.
Yo, you already know what it is. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the latest episode of TLX Interviews. As always, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share it with your friends on social media, and leave us a comment in the comment section below and let us know your opinion on some of the things that we talked about, and let us know what you thought of the interview. Make sure you follow our guests this week, Alanah on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all of the above, and beyond. All her social media information will be posted below in the description. Make sure you follow your boy at Primary The Go on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure you follow the brand at TLX Media at TLX Media _ on Twitter. With that being said, stay positive, stay focused on success. Let's get this money. It's your boy, signing out.